We are pleased to have Jon Rahm with us today. And Jon, we appreciate you spending some time with the media. Jon had a very strong 2018 Masters. He had 3 rounds in the 60s and finished in 4th place. Jon, what'd you take away from the 2018 Masters where you did so well that you think applies to this week?
Well, first of all, I'm going to apologize for being late. Thank you, everybody, for waiting. Did not account for the traffic to be as strong as it was on a rainy day like today. So I'm sorry, and thanks for waiting for me. And then, well, last year, I feel like every round was so different. But the main thing that kept me going, I think, is what's the most critical thing at Augusta National, which was my iron play. There were some mistakes, but at the same time, for the most part, it was really, really solid, giving me a lot of chances for birdie and giving me a lot of looks. And that was mainly starting the second day on the back 9. My first 27 holes weren't great, but you know, from that point on, it was pretty strong play.
Well, you continued your momentum after the Masters last year and had a very strong Ryder Cup performance, and you were in the top 5 on 2 majors, and then looks like your momentum has continued this year with top 10 finishes, I believe 6 of those already in 2019, which is a lot of momentum. So how are you feeling about your game now? How would you describe your game going into this week?
Well, based on what you've said, it's been very, very consistent. Every time something was off, it's never been too far off, allowing me to still contend in a lot of those weeks. I think for this year, it was been really good. For the first part, it was my driving. I was driving it really well. I was keeping it in play and hitting it long. And then for the last few weeks, my iron play became really, really strong. Players, it was really good iron play, even though the final day wasn't great. But for 3 rounds, I hit the irons really, really precisely. Same at Valspar, same in match play. You know, really confident of the fairway with my irons and being able to hit it close. And then I think everything was rounded with a better putting year. Not the best putter in the world by any means, but I think compared to stats last year, I'm in positive strokes gained putting, which is it's a big thing from last year. And that kind of rounds up everything. That's why I'm being consistent and being able to give myself a chance to contend for tournaments.
Great. Questions? John?
John, I'm just curious, experience is always talked about as being so important here. This is your 3rd Masters. Last year you finished 4th. The year before you first and tied for 27th. What have you brought or derived from those experiences, and how do you apply that this year? How much easier is it to come here with that experience under your belt?
Well, this one reminds me a lot to my first Masters because we had days suspended because of rain, and we couldn't practice a couple of the days. But there were 2 vastly different years. When I came in 2017, earlier in the year, I wasn't planning on being here because I wasn't qualified for the Masters. And I played good golf, and I played a lot of golf at the same time. So playing such high competitive golf, I got here and I was completely burnt out. I played really good. The course fit my eye right away. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the creative aspect of it. I enjoy how you have to play Augusta National, or how Augusta National allows you to do pretty much whatever you can imagine in your mind in each situation. And I was doing good up until the final day on the back 9. On the back 9, I just had no more energy. My body gave out and I couldn't hit the ball properly, and finished with, I think, 2 bogeys and a triple. Before that, I think I was still in the top 15. So I played better than what I ended up showing. And then last year was kind of the opposite. Started slow, finish strong. And kind of learned a lot from the year before. I think that the part that I've learned was a couple lessons taught by Phil Mickelson. Spent a lot of time here with him in the last few years, and he told me once, from his experience, he repeatedly say, you don't have to play perfect at Augusta National to win. And I started thinking, I always thought you need to play really, really, really quality golf to win a major championship. And he said, yeah, but you don't have to play perfect. Meaning that Augusta National is always going to allow you, is going to give you a chance to come back. And if you're smart and know how to play the golf course, you're going to have a chance to make pars and even birdies from some situations that you think that you wouldn't be able to. And that's kind of how I took it. And Last year, I think I was more forgiving within myself when missing shots. I was able to get more up and downs. And it's just knowing that mistakes are going to happen. Even Tiger, when he shot 18 under in 1997, he made mistakes. You know, he missed greens, he missed putts, he missed fairways like everybody else. So just knowing that everybody's going to make mistakes, almost everybody's going to three putt, everybody's going to miss a green and have a tough up and down. It's just what's going to happen to all of us. You just need to minimize those mistakes and be smart and think your way through Augusta.
Okay.
Hi, John.
Yes.
You're a very passionate player. You're very emotional. You love the game. And I'm just curious, how do you think that helps you when you compete? And do you think there's times when you actually have to temper that because it may hinder you?
I'm going to try to think a different way to answer that question for the 10,000th time. I really don't know what to say. It's just the way I am. I'm a very passionate person. Everything I do, for the good and the bad. It's very enjoyable when I win, and I really don't like it when I lose. I can say, you know, a second of losing is going to be way worse than, you know, 1,000 days of winning, and that's how it's going to be always in my mind. So nobody likes missing shots, but I guess it's easier to see it on me than other people. But at the same time, through those difficult times, it's, you know, there's always been great players who always show and have the emotions and bring them through in the difficult times. Seve is a prime example of it, and Tiger is as well. You know, some of the best players in their generations were able to show and use it to their advantage. I'm not a robot. I'm not an emotionless person. I'm not act like I'm trying to do that, because I'm not. I just slowly trying to control myself a little better, and a lot of it has come with maturity. And then when you come to situations like this in a major and being in contention, a lot of it is just experience. You need to put yourself in there to know how you're going to react, and then learn from how you react, right? I had an experience at the Players' Championship, and hopefully I'm learning from that. And if I get in that position this year, I'm gonna be able to apply what I learned. It's just how it is. But there's something about people like me where things get difficult and the pressure's on. You know, those emotions help. There's just much more in mind to remember than what was going on. So having those emotions help.
Let's go with the fourth row, and I'll come back to the third row. Fourth, yes.
Senator, thank you. John, you mentioned your iron play. Was there a stat or a category that you might have overlooked before you played here that now you think has a lot more value than you might have thought it did before competing here?
No. You saying stat about iron play or just in general?
Just in general.
No, not really. I believe the highest percentage, so the winners or the top 5 players in the Masters, usually the highest percentage of their strokes are gained with the iron play. And for that, you also need to put it in the fairway. And especially since they added the semi-rough, obviously in different years, it's obviously going to be more penalizing to miss the fairway in certain holes. But it's just, like Phil said, there's so many different ways to win it, right? I mean, when Jordan won, he obviously did a lot of things well, but he was incredible putting. He gained the stroke putting by a mile. That's going to compensate for other things, you know. If you have a really good short game year, you're always going to have a chance in any tournament. It's just how it is. But I think Jack said it best. Iron play is a quintessential part of Augusta National, and if your second shots are good, you know, you're definitely going to give yourself a chance.
Yes.
John, everybody's an expert here. Everybody thinks they know who's going to win the tournament, but the truth is Augusta is very, very difficult to predict. I wonder if you were on the other side of the ropes and I gave you $1,000 and you had to go and pick a winner, what would be your thought process? How would you try and whittle down who you thought had the best chance to win here?
I mean, who am I going to say besides me? Really? I mean, I like to bet on myself, but that's just being confident. It really is tough to choose in a game like golf, in a sport like golf, especially in this event. When you have winners from Tiger to Seve to Mike Weir to Phil to Jordan to Ben Hogan, I mean, you have a vastly different players and ways of playing the game and times, and that's the beauty about it. Like I said, there's not one way to play this golf course. There's so many different ways to do it, and there's so many different things that you can do right. So it's one of those weeks where anybody can win at any given point. Now, if we're going based on how people are playing, forces to be reckoned with. you always have to count Tiger and Phil. I mean, that's just how it is. 6 green jackets, no, 7 green jackets between the two of them. It's heavy. Bubba Watson, always somebody to count. But Rory's playing unbelievable golf. I mean, he's playing the best golf he's played in a long time. And I think he's one of the only one who has more top 10s than I do this year, including a win at the Players. Really good golf, and it seems like his putting has been a lot better. So if Rory's hitting the ball the way he is and he putts good, he's tough to beat. DJ's playing good, 2 wins this year, winning in Mexico the way he did. And we can go on and on with players that are playing good, right? And have had a chance. Louis Oosthuizen and had a couple of good showings, and he's been in a playoff here before. And then you can always have people that just show up out of nowhere and win. It's just how it is. It's hard to bet. If I had to put all of it in one person that's not myself, probably go with Rory. It's just who I see right now playing the best and somebody who fits really good to the golf course.
In trends, for example, the last 4 years, the Masters champion has been a first-time major winner.
I do now, hopefully.
Okay, and then back.
John, which Masters champion are you most like, and how?
Who am I most like?
Which Masters champion are you most like, and how? And has that been intentional, where you've emulated somebody?
Not that I ever know the personality of the players, right? That's going to be hard to tell. But just because we'll be going to home court, I'm going to go with one of the 3 Spanish players that have won. Like I said, the 3 Spanish players that have won here like to show emotion. And then Sevi and Chema are both from northern Spain like I am, so we all have very similar characteristics. And me and Chema are both Basque, so I'm going to say we're both pretty similar, hard-headed, stubborn people. I didn't get to know Sevi very well, but when it comes to just personality, I think I could go with either Sevi or myself or Chema. When it comes to game, they both were much better at short game than I am right now, but I think just because of the ball striking part, I would say Olazabal.
See front row here.
Hi, John. I wonder if you could speak a little bit about your how your status in the tour has changed since the first time you came here. You've always seemed comfortable with the spotlight, but I guess it's different when you came in 2017 as a young gun, and now you're obviously settled on the tour. You're a respected guy. How does that change the way you play or the way you feel this week? Thanks.
With that, are we going to have the time for Spanish? Just because I know that corner over there is all Spanish media.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're getting everything I'm saying, so I just want to make sure they're getting it. I'll answer that in English too. I'll just say it's changed in the sense that you get more familiar with what's going on. When I first came in 2016 and 2017, I was new. My first year on tour, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was going on. I wasn't familiar with the travel, the exhaustion, the competition, the mental tiredness of being in contention. And I didn't know where a major championship week being somewhat of a favorite really meant. So it was very different to what it is now. Right now, I'm used to those weeks a little bit more. I have a formula of what to follow. I know what to do off the golf course. I have a much better plan of attack when it comes to a week like this. Sorry. So just a little bit more comfortable. Obviously, the first few times you come to Augusta National, emotions are overflowing, right? Especially with somebody like me. The excitement is overboard. It's hard to control everything that's going on. So that week kind of went a little bit too quick for me. But now, like I said, the experience and just being a little bit more normal and everything just being kind of like routine in that sense, it's easy to go through it. So everything since playing here and being alive on tour and playing any other tournament, it just seems a little bit more routine than what it used to at first. Because at first, everything was new, everything was very exciting. I didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to come. I know a little bit more what to expect. A little bit, not much, because you never know what's going to happen.
Okay, have we got one more question here? Right.
John, you mentioned Seve before, and considering the success of your fellow countrymen here at Augusta, the possibility of becoming the fourth Spaniard to win a green jacket. How often do you think about that when you're out on the course?
It's something to think about often as a positive, right? I mean, 2 of the 3 are from northern Spain, so I would say we have some similarities in that sense. And it's a special year for us too, right? I mean, it's Olazabal's 25-year anniversary since his first win, and 20th anniversary since his second win. So it's something to remember. 2 years ago, it would have been Seve's birthday that Sunday. So pretty much every time we play, there's going to be something very special going on at Augusta National for all of us. And it's definitely something I think, because it'll be something beautiful to join that list. There's 3 world-class players, 3 of the best players Europe has ever seen, 3 of the best players the world has ever seen. So it would be incredible to be able to join my name to them.
Okay. John, impressive golf game, impressive interview. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.